Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer McArdle with McArdle Media, and I am very excited to be here with you today because if there's anything that I love in this world, it is talking about digital marketing and social media to the point where your eyes might glaze over. I'm hoping for that to not happen today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I want to respect your time. I want to respect the fact that you've shown up here. If you're in Michigan, hopefully this is more entertaining for you than looking out the window to this gloomy day. So I'm hoping to get you some information that can help educate you about digital marketing and hopefully some tips and tricks to help you with your business. So let's get started. All right, let me pull over my document here. All right, so today you're here, hopefully, if you're in the right place, to learn about paid, earned, shared, and owned media. What is this and what do you need to know? Why does this matter to you and your business? So let's jump right in. I want to thank you for being here to support me and my business, but also to thank you for being here to support your business. Throughout this presentation, you're going to hear me refer to you as business owners. Now, if you're not a business owner, that's okay. You're here supporting some business in some kind of way, a business, nonprofit, something like that. And so this is definitely for you. So as I go through this presentation, you'll hear me refer to you as business owners. And if you're not, this still applies to you. A little bit about McArdle Media. We do social media and digital marketing for small business. My tagline is, it's time to go social, we make it simple. And that is truly what I'm here to do, is make this a little more easy to understand and make it a little more bite-sized for small businesses. If you Google digital marketing for small business, you fall down the rabbit hole. There's so much information out there. And a lot of the information is good, but it doesn't apply to small businesses. You'll hear things like you have to have a website and a podcast and social media and on TikTok. You need to be on all of these things. And that's great advice if you're the Ford Motor Companies of the world, the Coca-Colas of the world. But if you're the local small business in your community, that may not be the right fit for you. So that's what we do here, is to try to educate and help small businesses navigate these digital marketing waters to make it a little easier so that they can apply this easily to their business. We are headquartered in Livonia in Michigan. If you're joining us from Michigan, again, the weather outside is quite dreary, but if you're somewhere else in the nation, I hope you're having much better weather than we are. I work with clients locally and nationally. Have a client right now in Georgia. I've had a client in Texas, in California. I'm here in Michigan. I think if I could get a client on the East Coast, then I could say that I have clients on all four coasts of the US. And our mission is simple, to really make this simple, to make it simple to get your brand out there, to increase your brand awareness. And why do we do that? We want to do that to increase your sales, whether you're an online business or a brick and mortar store. The point of brand awareness is to really get your potential clients to know you, to get to know you, to be able to make that conversion, whether that is click and purchase something through e-commerce or to come through your brick and mortar doors. We specialize in social media. So that includes your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. And our primary focus is Facebook. That's the primary platform that we've seen that works for the majority of our clients. We work primarily with business to consumer businesses, but we work with businesses of all different types. A little bit about me, again, Jennifer McArdle. I hold multiple certifications and certificates in different parts of digital marketing. I share that with you so that you know that I stay on top of this stuff. I stay on top of it. It changes daily. And when I say that, I mean it literally. The digital marketing world changes daily. Something pops up. You'll see it in the news. I live it and breathe it, so you don't have to. All right, so the point of all of this, what is it? Reaching more people online. And I referenced that a moment ago. It's not just how many likes do you have on social media, how many people come to your website. It's when they do that, are they taking that next step to make that purchase on your e-commerce website? Are they coming through the doors of your brick and mortar establishment? That is the point of all of this, to increase your sales. But how do we do it? Like I mentioned, there's so much information out there. How do we do it? And that is what I'm talking to you about today, is what we call the peso model. This is your paid, earned, shared, and owned media. And it's important to know about all of these. So just to give a brief overview of these so you know what we're getting into in today's conversation, paid media. That's exactly what it sounds like. It's media that you paid for. Earned media, this could be publicity and media relations. Your shared media, this is your social media, people in the community, different partnerships that you have. And owned media, similar to paid media in that it's something that you pay for, but you own it. It is yours. So we'll take a little bit of a deeper dive into each of these next. So paid media. This is your advertising. So think your social media ads. If you're posting ads on Facebook, on Instagram, your Google ads. When you're paying for these ads, this goes onto Google's platform, whether people are searching or it comes up in other ways throughout the web. Your pay per click. And if you're thinking of offline marketing, this could be your direct mail that goes to people's homes. This could be you advertising in your local newspaper, maybe with your local chamber of commerce. This is where you are paying for advertisement. There are pros to this. It is scalable. It's scalable in the fact that if you have a lot of money to put into it, you can grow this. It's reliable. It's reliable in that you're putting money forward for something in exchange. So you put money forward, your advertisement goes out there. There's no breakdown in that part. And it's fast. You can put up a Google, a Facebook ad relatively quickly. Now, it is complex. You get in there and there are a lot of choices to make, but it's relatively quick to get it out there. But there is a downside. There is a cost. Now, whether you take your $25, let's say, and put that into an ad, or you partner with a business, an agency that does this, it's going to cost quite a bit more than $25 a month. And there are uncertain outcomes when it comes to this. So you run an ad, even though you target a certain audience by location, by gender, age, you're not entirely certain who is seeing these ads. When it comes to ads, there can be some distrust. A lot of times people are leery about clicking on something that says ad because is it going to an actual business? Is it going to where it says it's going? Or is this some sort of someone who's a little bit unscrupulous and they're putting something up there to take you somewhere else? And one of the other cons to this is that you only see outcomes for as long as you pay. So you put your money in, you get your ads. When you stop the money, there are no more ads. So quick question. How many of you are using paid media in your business? You take a quick moment to answer this poll. Are you currently using paid media in your marketing? And this is, as far as I know, anonymous. I'm not seeing on this side, who's answering. So, feel free. This is a safe space here. Just give your information here and we'll end the poll in 5 more seconds. Thank you for your participation. And it looks like we've got about 78% of people saying no, they're not using paid media in their marketing, 22% saying yes. So that's kind of what I would expect. It's one of those things that if you don't know a lot about it, it's hard to give your money over to it to know if it's going to benefit your business. So let's go on to earned media. Earned media is word of mouth. People sharing with their neighbor, hey, I had my roof done. If you're looking to get your roof done, I recommend this person. Or my heater went out and ABC HVAC company came out very quickly and I was very pleased. This could be word of mouth, literally word of mouth, speaking this to someone, but this could also be media relations. So someone comes to interview you, they put you on the news or in a publication. This also looks like public relations, mentions in publications, and something that we're seeing in the digital world is guest blogging and being a guest on podcasts. So in earned media, there isn't necessarily an exchange of money per se. It's someone coming to you because they've heard about what you do. they are impressed with what you do and they want to talk to you about what you do and hopefully use your services. The pros to this are it's cost effective. Oftentimes, people are reaching out to you to ask for this, and there is no money exchange. This helps to set you apart from the masses. So you are an expert in your industry, right? You know that because you're in the business, you have a background in it, you stay educated about what's going on. But unless people know that and they can see that social proof, you're not really standing apart from everyone else. So it's important to have that to kind of prove who you are online. And it's long term and has exponential benefits. So once something is out there, it will only increase in the number of views that people are seeing. Now, the cons are it's hard to scale, meaning how are you going to get the news to interview you? How are you going to be able to reach out to those people for that earned media? It can sometimes be unreliable. So I have a funny story here. Years ago, I lived in Texas and I lived on a corner, and next to my lot, there was an empty lot. It was just like greenery when you come into the neighborhood. And some kids were playing soccer. And as it was getting later in the year, it was getting darker and they couldn't see. And so they came over and asked, could we use your electricity to plug in so that the kids can play soccer? Well, of course. I mean, I'd love for them to be able to do that. So then the news got out and the newspaper came to me and did a little story on me, and they took a quote and they misquoted me in saying, the electricity is here for everyone. Everyone can come use it. I'm generous, but I don't know if I want everyone coming to use my electricity. So in that, with the earned media, some of that you have less control over. I gave the interview, they misquoted me, but it was okay. No one came knocking on my door to use my electricity after that, but you don't have as much control. So another quick poll here. How many of you are using what we call earned media in your business? And I will be one of the first to say, do as I say, not as I do, because I don't have a lot of earned media in my business. It's one of those things where I can help my businesses, the businesses that I work with, do this. But then when it comes to me doing it, I kind of slip. So let's take a look at these results. About 50-50. Interesting. Okay. All right. Shared media. This is the media that we often think of when we're talking about digital marketing. This is your social media. And when I mention social media here, I mean organic. So what does that mean? Organic is what you're putting out there and not paying for. So as you realize probably, when you sign up for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, there's no cost involved. When you're doing ads, you're paying for that. So that's different from this. So this is just what you're organically putting out there, the content that you're sharing. The benefit to this is it's low cost in terms of dollars. You're not having to pay for this. Facebook owns Facebook. They're putting that out there. And it's easy to leverage. There's an audience that's out there already on social media. So you're not having to gather that audience together. They're already there. The cons to this are the cost in terms of time. I work in this area. This is what I do for a living. And I can tell you it takes a lot of time. And so when we think of that cost benefit here, is there cost involved? You're not giving dollars to Facebook here, but you are spending your time doing it. And it can be unreliable. What do I mean by unreliable with social media? Right now in Europe, Facebook, or the parent company now of Facebook, is called Meta. And so they are threatening to take down Facebook and Instagram in Europe. Europe has very strict privacy protection laws. They launched this GDPR law, regulations, if you will, a couple of years ago that stated people's information has to be protected. You can't just take my information and do what you want with it. Europe is very strict about this. And Meta, the parent company of Facebook, is saying, we don't want to play by those rules. That's not good, because if you have clients in Europe, if you're primarily using Facebook and Instagram to reach them, if that goes dark in Europe, how are you going to continue to be in contact with those clients or even potential clients? Another one that was big a couple of years ago, well, TikTok is still big, but controversy around TikTok a couple of years ago, Trump was going to shut down TikTok. TikTok is owned by a Chinese multinational company, but they're based out of China. And there was some controversy around this. And so Trump had said he was going to shut down essentially TikTok in the US. Now, I will be the first to say I'm not as familiar as TikTok. I don't use that in my marketing strategies for my clients, but think of all of the millions of people who do use TikTok. And some people have huge audiences following them on TikTok. If TikTok were to shut down right now, if those people don't have other ways of reaching those potential clients and customers, they've lost everything in that one moment of it being shut down. And the good old outages that we've seen from Facebook and Instagram, when they go out and they're out for hours, and Facebook is behind the scenes fixing it. Obviously, they're losing ad revenue, so they're quick to try to get it up and running, but it takes hours sometimes. If you're only on Facebook, and this is the only way that you reach your clients and customers, if you go dark, they don't know where to find you. They don't know where to go to next. And so it's unreliable in that sense that we don't control it, right? We don't control Facebook, Instagram. We don't give them money for their services. And so they really don't owe us anything. Other things to think about are if the SEC decides they are in violation somehow, they could be shut down. These are the types of things to think about when using shared media in your business. Now let's take another quick poll. How many of you are using shared media? So remember, this is your social media in your business. This is one that I can say, yes, I am actually doing. All right, results are coming in pretty quickly. Thank you so much for those of you participating. I really appreciate that. Give it about one more seconds. All right, so the vast majority of you look like you are using social media. That's great. Those of you who aren't, that's something that I'm able to help with. If you'd like to have a conversation about social media, about shared media, that's what I'm here to help with. And owned media. This, as I mentioned before, you're trading off money to own this in most cases. So your website, unless you're using a free website like Weebly or Wix or a free other type of website builder like that, you're more than likely trading money for the website. But you own this. Think of this as owning your home versus renting. So the website is you owning your home. Social media is like you renting. So on social media, there are rules to what you can do. So if I'm renting and I put a big hole in my wall, I'm not allowed to do that. If I own my home, I can tear out just about anything that I want to. It's similar with owned and shared media. On your website, you can do what you want. On social media and shared media, you have to work within some constraints. Your blog is also your owned media, usually housed within your website, but that's how you can share content with your potential clients. And then you can take this and leverage it and share it on other parts of the internet, including your shared media. Email. Now, oftentimes you're not paying in exchange for giving money and getting an email address in exchange. What you're doing is paying for the email host or the email client that you're using. And then you're exchanging something that somebody might be interested in. So for example, I offer a free ebook, and for in exchange, you give me your email address. I offer a newsletter that keeps you up to date with social media and digital marketing. In exchange, you provide your email address. Once those people have given you their email address, if they're not opting out, you own that list. That list is yours. No one can take that from you, much like your website. Podcasting has become very popular. And that's, again, you're paying the podcast hosting company, but you're exchanging that money, but then people are coming to you through that podcast. Customer reviews and testimonials. This is hugely important. And again, do as I say, not as I do. When you're reaching out to clients who have had great experiences with you, just ask, would you be willing to give me a review, a testimonial? You'd be surprised at how many people are willing and happily willing to do that for you. And the last two owned media that I have listed here are newsletters and webinars like we have here today. I didn't pay any of you to come, but I do pay for the hosting of the webinar. The pros to this, it's low risk. It's low risk in terms of I do exchange money for some of these products. However, I put up my website the way I want it to be. And in doing that, I'm creating an asset for my business. My website, my email list, my content that I'm creating, it's mine. I own that. And as it says here, you control it. You are in control of this media. Now, there are some cons in that it costs. As I mentioned, to run this webinar here, I pay Zoom for webinar services, and in exchange, they give me this platform here. But I am dependent on them for some of these things. So I am dependent on the company that I use for my website to host my website. But there is an exchange there of money. So there is an expectation if I'm giving them money that they are offering me this service. All right, one more poll here. Owned media. How many of you are currently using owned media in your marketing? Remember, that's websites, email, podcasting. All right, give it a couple more seconds. Let's say 3, 2, and 1. And again, thank you for those of you who are participating. I really appreciate it. Let's end the poll here. Oh, wow. So a lot of people are using owned media here. It looks like 89% are using owned media in their business. 11% are not. That's okay. This is all a learning curve for all of us, and it's constantly changing. And so it may evolve to you using owned media in your business. So now what? Great. Thanks for that overview, Jennifer. But what does that mean for me? What do I need to do with this information? So we've talked about paid, earned, shared, and owned. So do I think of these as 4 independent things? Absolutely not. They are all interconnected. Now, you may be looking at this and be thinking, Jennifer, you said you make this simple. This doesn't look simple at all. Okay, I'll admit that this model is quite complex. But if we chunk it down into smaller pieces and develop maybe a quick start plan for you, or see what you're doing, and then what we could add to that plan, that's where this comes into place. So don't be caught wondering what's going on with this. We'll make it a little bit simpler. So a quick start solution here, I would say for shared media. In my opinion, this is the easiest place to start. Creating social media pages. But not just creating them. Once it's there, it's not the old adage, build it and they will come. You've got to build it, but you have to encourage them to come. And how do you do that? Maintaining your social media pages and posting regularly. So again, guilty of this on my side here. For the longest time, I had a picture of myself across all of my social media. That was taken a couple of years ago on a cell phone. And oftentimes when I take a selfie, it makes me look a little thinner in the cheeks. I'm one of these people who have put on the COVID-19, these little extra pounds. And so that picture didn't look like me. If someone were to see my social media and then meet me in person, they may not put the 2 and 2 together. So having updated headshots, having updated pictures of the business, if you've moved in your business and you still have a picture of your old storefront as your banner across the top, people may be confused. They arrive to your building and think, I'm in the wrong place. They're Googling real quick to find out if they're in the right place. And if someone comes to your page and the last post was in 2019, depending on their generation, they may even wonder if you're still in business. If they don't see you actively on social media, they assume you're not there. Now, Where this comes from is that large businesses are always online. They're always available. And so people assume that small businesses are always available too. I have some simple solutions to help you get consistent posting on social media. So don't panic about that. That's something that we'll talk about in future webinars and something that we could talk about if you'd like to have a free consult with me. Owned media, I think that would be the next easy place to start because you are, again, giving money to exchange in exchange for having the website platform. So here I say, if you don't have a website, create one. If you do have a website, make sure it's up to date. Make sure your contact information is up to date. I noticed that during the pandemic, some businesses have shifted from brick and mortar to working from home, and maybe the phone number has changed. What if people are trying to reach out to you from your website, contact your phone number, and it's not valid? You're missing out on people reaching out to you. So, and then if you don't have a website, I can tell you it's not as daunting as it seems to create one on your own. And there are many companies out there that can help you create one as well. Earned media. Now, word of mouth, the easiest way for this is to ask for reviews and testimonials. Ask people if they're pleased with your service, they will be very happy to do this for you. And it's just a question. Would you mind doing me this favor of giving me a review on Google? Here's the link. They have two options. They can say yes, they can say no. That's it. It's a yes or no. And paid media. Now, I work mostly in social media, but in my opinion, I think Google ads as opposed to Facebook ads deliver your best returns. And here's why. When someone is scrolling through Facebook, they're not looking for your ad. So they're laying in bed, bored, and they see your ad. And if they're not in business mode, if it's something that's business related, or if it's something that they're not looking for right now, they're going to keep scrolling by. Whereas Google ads, these pop up when someone is actively searching for what you do. If you are an HVAC company and someone's looking for you because their heater went out, they're looking for heating company near me, and it pops up on Google. So in my opinion, you get the best returns here. It may be a little bit higher cost, but I think in exchange for the cost, you'll get the better returns. So let's break that down, this quick start plan. You could do 4 simple things to get started here. Shared media, create social media pages or maintain what you have. Owned media, create a website, maintain your website. Earned, get those reviews and testimonials. And paid, if you want to do paid advertising, choose Google Ads. I don't do Google Ads here at McArdle Media, but I can put you in touch with some great people who do Google Ads. So is that it? Wow, that's simple. That's all I have to do? Not exactly. So this is the model that I've shared with you today: paid, earned, shared, and owned. This is what the model really looks like. So this comes from a company called Spin Sucks. I'm not sure where they got their name, but that's up to them. If you see this, there's so much detail here. And some of this will apply to your small business. Some of this won't apply to a small business, but there's so much more here. Now, if you're looking at this and you're feeling like this, I understand. I'm there with you. That's why I do what I do to help small businesses. Because oftentimes you go to Google and you search social media for small business, and it sends you down the rabbit hole with so many results, so much information that may not apply to you. And so that's where I try to come in to make it simple for you. I have my Simple Savvy marketing system where I try to create a unique brand marketing experience for your business. I take all of this complicated stuff on the background and try to bring it to the foreground to you in the simplest way possible. The way that I help my clients, my customers, are in a couple of different ways. So I have the do it yourself, the DIY. This is your HGTV version where you kind of do it on your own. And that includes webinars like this, where you can learn some information and then take it and do it on your own. If that's what you want, that's what I'm here for. But I also have other workshops. I have tech tutoring. If you want to do this on your own, but you just need a little help navigating the different social media platforms. I offer tech tutoring services where I sit with you on Zoom and we see what works best for you in your learning. Is it me showing you? Is it you taking the seat and moving around the different platforms, or a combination of both? I meet your learning style there. Done with you. So you're like, oh, my business is my baby. I can't give it away. I can't just let someone take it over. I get that. And that's why I offer done with you services. That includes things like this webinar here today, some packages where I can help you develop your social media, and you have the final say. You go through the checks and balances to say, yes, this is what I want posted on social. And coming up soon, I'm going to be launching some coaching, some group coaching and on one-on-one coaching, teaching you how to do it, but also holding you accountable. We all have these great ideas to move forward with this, but sometimes it's a great idea now and we forget about it as life happens. And then I have done for you services where you tell me what you're looking for. I put together the social media strategy, we sign off on it, and then I move forward and post these things for you. So quick poll here real quick. This will be the last poll, I promise. So if you were interested in working with McArdle Media, which plan would you feel this feels right for you? Are you more of a DIY person? I really want to do it myself. Are you a done with you person where I want to be really in control, but I do need some assistance? Or done for you, where you're thinking, I just need someone to take this over for me? All right, looks like we're coming down to most people have participated. Thank you again for those of you who are participating. We'll end the poll here. And okay, kind of what I was thinking. A lot of people want to do it together. They want to do it on their own, but they need some guidance, or they want someone to do it for them, but they want a lot of oversight with it. It's important. It's your business. You need to have a hand in your business. All right, so I think I said stop sharing here. I don't want that to be on your screen as we move forward. So let's just take a quick moment to reflect. We're almost at the end here, and I appreciate you sticking through this with me. A moment to reflect. So some of you may be thinking, wow, I wasn't anticipating that I needed so much marketing, digital marketing for my business. Don't worry. There are a lot of pieces, but they all sort of fit together. And if you're someone who's sitting through here and saying, well, this is common sense, I kind of know how this works. I ask, if it's common sense to you, is it common practice in your business? It's one thing to know it. It's another thing to do it. And that's why I kept, saying, do as I say, not as I do. It's easy to know what you need to do, and sometimes a bit harder to take that step forward. So if you're that person who's saying, yeah, it's common sense, think about if it's common practice for your business. So as I mentioned, we're wrapping up here at the end. Do you want to know more? Next steps would be, I have some upcoming webinars where I want to say I'm taking a deep dive, but still a bit on the surface. So talking about social media, one-on-one, 101, this is what you maybe were interested in knowing, but were maybe too afraid to tell people. I don't know how to log into my business Facebook as opposed to social, my personal, as opposed to my business Facebook, that type of thing. So I'll be going over those in some upcoming webinars. If you're interested in that, you can go to my website, McArdleMedia.com/events. And any events that we have coming up will be shared on that page. These upcoming webinars, just like this one, are free. If you found this to be useful, you're more than welcome to share this with other people. It really is my intention to be able to help more people in their businesses. And if some of this may sound confusing to you, or if some of this is like, yeah, this makes sense, I have questions and want to move forward, let's set up a free consultation. And by consultation, I mean, let's set up a free talk. Let's talk about what we've talked about here. Let's talk about your business, what's working for you, what's not. Let's just talk about what you might need for your business. And that is at McArdleMedia.com/contact. Anything you need to do regarding reaching out, that can all be found on the website. I try to make it that way so it's easier for you to find. So I want to thank you again. Thank you for showing up here today to support me and my business. And thank you for showing up for supporting you and your business. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. All of my contact information is at my website. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.